Hello everyone, my name is Tejashwi Nihal and I work as a National Account Manager with Collabora Technologies. And today we will be speaking on the topic of leadership and how to change the stereotype from being a good leader to a passionate leader. Now we need to understand that there is a very slight difference in being a good leader and being a passionate leader. A good leader is someone who leads his team in completing the tasks assigned to the team, exceed their targets, and not just limit themselves to their job description. However, a passionate leader is someone who helps their team members reach such a place where the role of a leader is minimized and the team is self sufficient in meeting the targets and completing the tasks assigned. A passionate leader is someone who motivates their team members to put the best effort behind what they do. So, basically, what the passionate leaders are doing, they are creating the future leaders of the market. Now, there are various tools and ways that a passionate leader uses to attain such success, and we'll discuss briefly on each of them. First being the motivational tools. There are various motivational tools such as delegation of authority, recognition, job expansion, and empowerment, which a passionate leader uses. Now, when I talk about delegation of authority, it is when you delegate the authority in your team and allow your team members to grow within their jobs, test their own ideas, expand their skills, and also their knowledge base. Secondly, when we talk about recognition, without recognition, even a successful team member may not feel that their efforts are being valued or the efforts that they're putting are worth the trouble. A proper recognition can be a valuable reward for a job well done. And the expectation of this recognition will often drive the team members to continue to strive for growth and success. Now, a recognition does not necessarily has to be materialistic or financial. A pat on the back is also a very good example at the right time. Now, when we talk about job expansions are more satisfying because people tend to feel gratified by the closures that come from doing a comprehensive set of tasks from start to finish. Now, when I talk about job expansion, when you're assigning your team members a particular task and they are completing the task, or when you're assigning the team member a process and they're completing the entire process from scratch to the end, there's a difference. When they're completing the entire process, they feel as if they're owners of that process and they tend to put their best foot forward when they're doing that. They take ownership, they think out of the box on how to deliver those tasks. Lastly, the last motivational tool we'll talk about is of empowering the team members. Now, empowered team members feel less constrained by the restrictive policy making that might exist in a company or an organization or a team. And when we are giving the team members the power to think on their own, they are willing to push past the standard expectations. The added value to an empowered workforce is that the leaders will actually have access to more perspectives, allowing for a wider range of options when confronted with a decision or a problem. Now, for example, when we are empowering the team members with certain authority or certain power in a team, they are able to think past the standard set processes and they're able to find new ways to deliver the task in a more efficient way. Right. Now, a passionate leader has to serve many roles leading his team. He has to be a role model for the team members. He has to coordinate their work. He has to resolve their conflicts. He has to promote their growth and development. And at the same time, he also has to motivate them to achieve superior performances. Now, there are different ways to lead a team. However, there are some general traits that are very common in all the leadership ways that exist in the market. And these general traits, you would find that most of the successful leaders in different industries are something which they all follow, and it is something which we all can cultivate. Now, the first point of being a passionate leader or a very effective leader is that one should be comfortable in taking charge and giving instructions and acting assertively when needed. When I talk about acting assertively, you should know how to assign a particular person with a particular task or a particular role. You need not hesitate while assigning that role. Secondly, a leader needs to work as a collaborator, as a coach, and as a colleague with their team members rather than working as a boss. So, when you're working as a boss, your team members would only do what you're asking them to do, or they would only share the inputs that they have been asked for. However, when you're working as a coach and a collaborator, you two connect on a different level. You two connect on something which leads to thinking out of the box of the standard processes. Thirdly, and most importantly, being a good leader, you need to focus on results rather than the methods. This is interconnected to our point number 2 of working as a collaborator and a coach with the team members. How it is interconnected, I'll tell you, because when we're working as a collaborator with our team members, it gives us access to various opinions and various ideas which we ourselves might not have thought about in the first place. So, focus more on the results rather than the methods. Because, for an example, there might be a standard process that you're following to complete a particular set of tasks. However, a new team member comes in and he has a different idea altogether, which leads to an effective way of completing the tasks altogether. So that is one point, and the last point that I would like to specify over here is that never micromanage. Rather supervise from a distance. Your only task is to let your team members know how to complete the task that they have been assigned to. Let them complete the task. If they have a challenge, they'll come to you. You need not stand over their heads and look at it all the time. You need not micromanage that entire process all the time or the task all the time, because if you have assigned your team members those particular tasks, you need to trust them that they will complete it without your guidance. Now, successful leaders don't achieve success by chance. Rather, they understand the nature of their leadership and develop techniques for managing their teams effectively. Now, every leader works in a different way, every team works in a different way. So, it is very important to let your own technique evolve and take shape based on the nature of the people you're working with, based on the type of problem and the challenges that your job represents. Successful leader, let's say in the pharmaceutical industry, might think in a very different way than a successful leader in the automotive industry. This is a very common example that I'm talking about, guys. So you need to understand the nature of work that you're doing. You need to understand the nature and mindset of the people you're working with, and accordingly divulge your own leadership ideas and mature them to a level where the team is happily accepting those ideas and happily accepting you as a leader. Some leaders, I would say, are too perspective. They focus more on the techniques or approaches their team member use to complete the task rather than focusing on the end results. It is usually better to tell the team members what results are expected out of them rather than telling them how to get those results, right? Because when you let them decide what is the best way to complete a task, they will come off a better and efficient way which you might not have thought about. Right? But at the same time, you need to also be assertive whether the way that they're coming up with is feasible or not. So you need to find a balance in between these. Now, effective and passionate leaders, I would say, are inherently effective coaches, I would say. Now, they keep their team's energy and efforts focused on clear goals that everyone understands. And they support the ideas that their team members come with. They generate and promote enthusiasm. They generate and promote self-confidence and pride among their team members. Now, they lead the people to believe in themselves and embrace the benefit that comes from self-discipline, hard work, dedication to purpose, and a unified sense of direction. When the team is working in one direction, you will see results which are unparalleled to while working in separate silos. Now, they challenge and help employees to cultivate their individual skills while challenging those skills towards goals that promote the success and reputation of the team. So you need to understand how do you challenge your team members in such a way that they are forced to think outside the box of completing a particular set of tasks. Now, passionate and effective leaders also appreciate their impact as a role model. When you're leading a team, when you're leading a bunch of people, these people know that you have achieved something to reach such levels. They will look up to you on how you complete the things that have been assigned to you. They would look up to you whether you're working ethically or not. They would see the processes. They would see you as their role models. Now, you need to realize that you set the standard for your teams. You need to realize that you set the performance behavior of your teams. And this is done by default. There's no one coming in and saying that what you do is how things should be done. Rather, it should be in a way where what you're doing is considered as the basic standards. It should be of that level. Now, to sum it all up, I would say that there's no one way of leading a team, and there's no right or wrong way of leading a team. Since we're all human beings, we understand that everyone is going to work in a different way. But what we also need to understand is that in today's world, the most important skill set that we have, or the most important asset that we have, is of human beings. And we need to understand and realize that a leader grows only when his team grows. And until unless your team is growing, you won't be able to grow. Even if we talk about certain corporate industries where a leader gets the promotion and his team members do not get a promotion, those are, I would say, ancient talks that used to happen. Now, if you have to grow in an organization, you have to make sure that the people working under you are growing as well. As Dr. Manmohan Joshi says, I mean, a leader is made and he's not born. Nobody becomes a leader only through learning, provided the management courses that we have in our MBAs and our graduations that we're doing. We need to understand that a leader needs certain experiences, experience to difficult situation, experience to pleasant situations as well. Now, when the learning is backed by personal experience, it is like baptism by fire, as said by Dr. Manmohan Joshi again. So, guys, just understand that you are leading a team of human beings, right? You're leading a team of people where success is guaranteed, mistakes are also guaranteed. You need to understand that as well. You need to understand that there would be times that would be difficult and you would have to take difficult decisions in your team, but then don't be hesitant in taking that decision, because at the end of the day, you're working for a better, a bigger goal, I would say, a bigger goal of the entire team. So, understand how your team members work, lead them in a certain way, and be more passionate towards them, be more passionate towards their success as well. Thank you, everyone. I hope everyone keeps safe and does well in these difficult times. Thank you.